Welcome to the Spinster House. I'm LB and I'm here to give you a modern spin on modern spinsterhood. Today's topic, reclaiming spinster. According to the Oxford Dictionary, a spinster is an unmarried woman, typically an older woman, beyond the usual age for marriage. To explore this, let's go back to the origins of the word spinster. Now, spinster originated, depending on where you look, either in medieval times or in Middle English. Originally, the word spinster referred to literally a woman who spun wool and was created as an addendum to someone's name as their occupation. This was actually a title to be proud of, as it was one of the only ways that a woman could make money independently of man. Now, eventually the word evolved into the official legal term for a woman who was unwilling or unable to marry. It was just the term for a single woman. I mean, if my name was put in the paper or in a legal document, I would be LB Hanna, Washington, D.C., spinster. But in the 19th century, the ideal of marrying someone's true love became paramount over marrying someone who would provide a stable environment, whom one could maybe fall in love with later. It actually became a very religious and spiritual experience to marry someone's soulmate. That's how the term soulmate came about. You were supposed to be marrying the person who was ordained by God for you to be with, and that this passion that was outside of, friendship or the capacity to provide a stable environment became the most important thing. So women started foregoing marriage because they hadn't found that ideal. They hadn't found the one, which almost became something admirable. Many of these women had suitors. They were even engaged, but because they didn't feel that spark, they would often string their fiance along, or they would hold off because they didn't want to make that commitment. They didn't want to almost let their man down. It was the 19th century equivalent of, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. So in a way, it really hasn't changed that much. I mean, how many people have I known who've broken up with their significant others because they loved them and they cared for them, but they weren't in love with them? So spinsters came to be known as women who were too picky or finicky, or someone who was to be pitied because they hadn't found the one. Fast forward to today, and how many people have that same issue? They go to Thanksgiving dinner and they get, oh, so have you met any nice boys? Or, oh, when are you going to go and settle down? The fact that we're expected to settle, it's still there. And if you're a woman and you haven't found that soulmate, the fact that you are supposed to maybe settle, and the fact that so many women do settle, or they convince themselves that, oh, this is the one, or I want to have a family, so I guess this is better than nothing. Now we know that if we apply Fermi's theorem to matchmaking and finding your soulmate, I mean, there are roughly 871 people out there who could be the one for us, but that's still 871 people in the entire world. I mean, we always say it, but heck, my soulmates, or some of my soulmates, could be anywhere. The chances of me running across them are fairly slim. Well, I mean, just like those 19th century women, I don't want better than nothing. I want the one, or one of the 871. So I asked my friends some time ago whether or not they thought that the term spinster was. Fast forward to today, and the use of the word spinster is almost always a derogatory term. I mean, it's bandied about there with shrew, or dried up old spinster, or crazy cat lady, or old maid. Yep, the old maid. That bitter, spinster, old maid, crazy cat lady who lives down the street. So I asked my friends whether or not they thought that the term spinster was still valid in the 21st century. The overwhelming response was that this derogatory term is passé and really doesn't have a place in the can women have it all era that we're living in today. We're talking about whether or not women can have a career and have a family, and whether or not women putting their career first is affecting their ability to have a family, or whether being an ambitious career woman affects someone's ability to find a mate. I mean, what does it matter? We're living in the 21st century. Women shouldn't be paying for Eve eating the apple, or being judged on whether or not they find a mate. Or, I mean, the fact that someone's attractiveness still determines their self-worth as a woman is ridiculous. Like, I have short hair, which can be considered by some to not be as desirable, or can be considered by some to be very desirable. I'm a blonde. My brother likes brunettes. I wouldn't want to be attracted to my brother. I wear glasses. I wear cardigans. I wear pearls. You could say that I rock librarian chic. Does that mean I have to be Marion the librarian? I mean, Marion the librarian found her Harold Hill eventually. So really, we should stop judging women based on their ability to attract a mate and judge them on their willingness to be useful to society. Really, even in the 19th century, that was what those women who were considered spinsters and were unwilling to settle, they wanted to be useful to society. They wanted to know that they mattered, regardless of whether they were with a man. And I think that's what a lot of women want nowadays too. So I'm taking it back. I am reclaiming the word spinster. In fact, I'm not just a spinster, I'm a spin-star. I'm not an old maid, I'm a bold maid. I will proudly rock my glasses and my cardigan and my pearls and accept that my hair will always be slightly out of place. Because I am who I am, and trying to live up to someone else's idea of what I should be as a woman is exhausting and is never going to get me anywhere. If I'm going to find my soulmate, it's because I am who I am and not because I'm what society thinks I should be. So what do you think, Spinstars? Are you ready to join the Bold Maid Revolution? So what do you think, Spinstars? Are you ready to join the Bold Maid Revolution? Leave a comment below with your thoughts on modern spinsterhood, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time!